Hello friends. Oh my gosh. Whenever we travel, I never remember like what day is it? What are we doing? We got in kind of late last night. By the time we like landed and got out of the airport, it was dark and I was just like, we had to pick up the kids still and it was just crazy. So excited. Okay, we're gonna get Miss Sadie on here and we are gonna bring the heat. Let's do this. Okay. We got you on. Can you guys see us? Can you hear us? Hello,
Yeah,
hello.
can you hear us okay?
Sadie, I can't hear you. Can you hear me okay?
You can I can hear you. You can't hear me?
Oh, okay.
I got my ear pods in. Now you froze. Uh-oh. There.
Okay. So
Okay.
excited. I was just like thinking about everything that we learned this weekend and really reflecting on, just how lucky our kids are to grow up in this kind of community. Like, can you imagine if we had grown up? Granted, like, I wouldn't change a thing, right? Like, I wouldn't change all of the heartache and all of the negativity and all of like the really hard challenges that I grew through to get to where I am, because if I did, I might not be in the same position and have my amazing kids and my amazing husband, but like, they are going to be so like set upon a mountain to like soar and do whatever it is that they set their hearts and minds to, because they're surrounded by people who support them and love them and cheer them on. And I just think that's so exciting.
Yes.
Like, every kid needs to be raised in that community. So okay, I'll let you like start us off, Sadie.
Yeah, no, just on that same foot that you were talking about, like, we can't protect our kids from struggle. Like, it's going to happen. It's a part of life. They're going to get dumped. They're going to have heartache. They're going to experience loss and hardship and things. But it's what we can do to teach them to handle it, but handle it well enough to keep pushing on and keep moving. And our parents, they did what they could, and we love them for everything that they did and what they've set us up for. But sometimes, like, when we look at past versions of ourselves and how I used to handle stress eating and how I used to handle anything that would like be a minor inconvenience, like something dropped in front of me, it was like, I'm lost, I'm melting, I can't live my life. And it's like just teaching my kids that mental toughness and like to be strong to push through and still recognize feelings and emotions and give them some time to process. Like, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be upset, it's okay to have negative feelings, but not dwelling on them and really letting it dictate your day. And that's the type of stuff that I really want to focus in on, that we do in Isogenics, that we do with our health and wellness company, because it's about a personal development over anything else. And what I've noticed is people will come into our community and they're like, I want to get healthy, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I'm not going to plug in. I'm not going to come to calls. I'm not going to do your events. I don't want to do your business. I don't want to la la la. And they try to do it by themselves. And like a huge amount of the time, these people don't last and they don't end up getting the results that they want, because they don't have that continual, like, I believe in you. You got this. I'm only one person. I can tell these people these things over and over and over again. But if they're not hearing it from you, Gabi, or hearing it from other people in our community, like, it tends to just kind of feel like there's just one person rah-rahing in the background. And so having just come from this huge convention center full of like 1,500 people all rah-rahing together for everybody, like, I feel so supported and so loved. And so just full of what's next, how can I help the next person? Like, how can I run and like do all these things when I still have my kids and I still have my husband and my family and my own personal goals to work on. It's just like only one person. So rounding back to our weekend, Gabi, what were like some of your like favorite moments, your aha moments that you just said, I'm where I belong?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I think it was when we first walked in before the event even started. You guys, I am such a weird, awkward person. Many times, like when we go out in public, something happens and I am such a stupid, awkward. Like one time I poured hot water on my pancakes on accident because I thought it was syrup. Like, no crap, I don't need alcohol to have fun. But in the small community that I grew up in, like, everyone's so small-minded here. It's like, if you're different, you're shamed, you're looked down upon. And that, I'm gonna start crying, like, that I felt at home when we walked in there, and I didn't realize how much I had missed it until we got there again. And you could be your crazy, beautiful, authentic self because everyone else was being their crazy, beautiful, authentic self. And that's why it's so important to share your story, to be grounded and love who you are, because your brand of beautiful is needed. It is absolutely needed. And if you're in a small town like Sadie's from and like I currently live, it's needed even more, because you're right, there's a lot of people out there that are like going with the grain and doing what they're told to do and do whatever is culturally cool right now. But there's also people who genuinely need someone to pour belief and life and encouragement and inspiration into them, because they're not like everyone else. That's just not how they're designed. I'm freakishly tall, like, and I'm wearing heels at all of our events, and I felt comfortable. One of the girls even said, she's like, babe, you just stand tall and proud, right? And I was like, oh, this is so where I belong. So that's where it was for me. And honestly, seeing you and Brad with the kiddos too, I'm just like, oh, this is how, like, I just know that I'm where I belong. How about you?
Yeah, so bringing Miles, who's 3, was definitely like a moment where Brad and I were like, are we going to be able to enjoy this? Are we going to be able to pay attention? Is he going to be screaming? Is he going to try to run on stage? Is he going to like get in trouble somehow? Or are people going to look crazy at us? And like, no, to all of those things. Like, there was a family room that Brad could bring him to go play. There were so many amazing people that came up to us and said, he's so sweet, he's doing such a good job. Like, and just like helped us feel so supportive. But like, I feel like the event overall, I felt so rooted in my belief that this is where I belong, from the vision to how they are preparing for 2022 to focus on more on contribution. And they matched donations from every single person to like what, over $300,000 to send to the
Gosh,
Heisa
just an
Foundation.
insane amount of money, you guys. Like,
yeah,
amazing.
It was beautiful. And we watched these stories of, you know, a young woman in Africa who was like malnourished, under, you know, not taken care of, living on the floor, you know, all these things. And they brought her to this house of hope and helped her bloom into this young woman where now she's impacting and helping other children through all of this. Like, that was such a beautiful story. And you know, how they've taken our superfood nutrition to help people become the best versions of themselves. There was this whole segment with this man named Peter where they were basically doing a clinical study on him with our nutrition, and really watched him from day one all the way through, to see him through blood work and his physical, mental status, all of these things, to see what would happen. And not only did he get below 300 pounds for the first time since he was 19 years old, and by the way, he's 63, but he also turned into this version of himself that he was able to do things that he loved again. And it was just such a beautiful story. And so there were so many aha moments, so many moments where I felt so alive and so good. And so let me ask you this question. I love science. I get geeked out when the 4 science panelists got up there and started talking about like fiber and things like that. I'm in the background like, woo. So what do you feel like about with science, having not like a degree in like specific science field like nursing or anything like that? Like, what does that do for you? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so okay, for those of you who don't know like what we're talking about, I'm sorry, my kids are going crazy, but we are in like such a unique position, and I've never felt so bold about sharing it. I've had so many people that are like, I like to chew my food, I don't believe in supplementation, just eat a lot of whole food, and like, I just didn't really know what to say to them, or like who we are, what we are. I had a lot of negative stigmas towards network marketing, again, small town. So when Jim Coover shared about the peer reviews, which like, that's insane. So, and you can add to this too, of course, because I know you're like super love it with science, but he essentially said like, hey, we did a study up against the heart healthy diet, which is, you guys, that's your whole foods, you're eating really clean all the time, which I've tried the heart healthy diet. It's a really good diet, or even like the Mediterranean diet, like really good diets. Then I'd be really good for 2 weeks and then I'd fall off, because like I don't have time to prep and chop that many meals a day. Like doing a snack and doing a main meal and then my 2 shakes, it's just a no-brainer. It's so simple. We're busy moms, we're running around. Like, odds are I wouldn't eat if it wasn't for our superfood shakes, right? So when he said that, hey, we did a third party, like they were going to post the results, whether it worked or not. That's scary, because if it didn't work, ooh, like there'd be a lot of crap out there. Like, you know, they took a risk of doing this. This was at the beginning of the pandemic. Like, a lot of companies have been through HELL the last couple of years. I can't even imagine on a corporate level how all of that played out and the logistics going into it. So for them to do this study, for us to come out and say, hey, we had more fat loss, right? Who wants to lose some fat? Put it in the comments, okay? I know I've got some extra fat, a little bit of fat here and there. I want to lose it. They gained lean muscle. And this is what I love about our system. It's not a diet, you guys. Even people without working out, we've got those cool body fat app scales, right? Where it says, like, you step on it and it shoots electrodes through you, and it'll say what your body fat is and what your muscle mass is. There's a girl that we had, she started 2 years ago. She lost 50 pounds over the summer. She did not work out once, and she gained 4% muscle mass. That goes to show, like, your body needs more protein. It needs more. And she was eating okay before this, but she wasn't getting in everything she needed. And that just goes to show, like, more of, we need to supplement, right? We need all that. But we had more, you know, lean muscle gained, and then they stuck with it long term, which it's great if something works for you temporarily, but if it doesn't work over a long period of time, then what's the point, right? It has to be simple. It has to be affordable. And we're really positioned in this beautiful spot where Jim Coover, the guy that, like, when he was talking, I was just like, this is the home, this is the vision. It's like the dad of the house sitting and saying, hey, this is the plan, this is where we're going. And it just, like, blew my mind when he shared all of this. And then when he talked a little bit about how, like, they're uniquely positioned, there's a lot of network marketing companies out there. And when he had talked about how, like, they were already millionaires. They didn't do this to make money. Can you talk about that a little bit and just share, like, how they came out of retirement? That just, like, blows my mind.
You know, I think that there's something to be said for how many people that are in our company that don't need to be there, because they are doing really well. Even like our kind of leader of the Team Vision cast, like they're millionaires and they're comfortable, they're set for life, they've got residual, and yet they still continue to work with people who want to do the business. And Jim and Kathy were done. Like, they were well past the age that they needed to work. And Brad just commented, I'll tell you that story. So there's this man called Dr. John Anderson. He formulated different proteins and supplements for GNC, and every time that he would bring them a new recipe, they would say, oh, we're going to change a couple things, we're going to add some fillers, we're going to take out some nutrients, we're going to make it cheaper, and then they would shelve it. And that didn't sit well with him, because he had a conscience and he had, you know, more of a vision than just like, oh, a quick buck. And so he looked for somebody in the network marketing field that he could partner with. And he bugged Jim and was like, hey, we should do this. And Jim was like, oh man, I've got my golf game, I'm busy. And so he kind of roped him into coming over and having like lunch or something with him. And he showed him these motorcycles that he had. And he's like, if you do this with me, I'll let you have one of these motorcycles. So he picked one out, and now it's at headquarters, and it's like a staple there. So it was really cool to see that and hear that story, because if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for Jim seeing the vision and giving him a 30 days to convince him that the system he created and came up with was worth it to invest in. And if you know anything about businesses, they profited like in under 3 years. And a lot of businesses don't for a lot longer. And the fact that they have grown over time into a multi-billion-dollar industry, or a multi-billion-dollar company in the industry, says so much about where we're headed and where we're going. And all of these new products that we're launching, we've got a skincare line. We're not just a company that's about nutrition now, we're about overall healthy living. We've got a hair restorative pill now that obviously Gabi and I, we're both good on hair. But there's a lot of people out there that struggle with hair loss and struggle with hair growth and stuff. So this is going to be yet another targeted game changer for us. And the fact that we just continue to get better and better and always look for the next best thing. And the thing is like, we could have came out with multiple skincare lines for years, but they waited until they found the best of the best at the right time, at the right place. And that's what they do. It's the same thing with collagen. They could have come out with one years ago when it first started getting buzzword and hot topic, but they waited till they found the best on the market to launch it, because that's how we do things. And all of these peer-reviewed like articles and stuff coming out, even one of the chief scientists who it works for Isogenics, but he's also like I think he's a full-time at a university, and like he gets to do these research projects for us, and it's completely like on his own, and whatever results get published. And so with us being vulnerable like that and saying, hey, here, check all these people, if it sucks, the whole world's going to know about it. If it doesn't, the whole
Oh my gosh. And that's where it's like, I loved how, because you guys were talking about like, if there isn't even just like an inkling or an ounce of you that wants to make more money, that wants to be aligned with something that matches your personal goals, your family goals, your values, right? Like one of the things that stuck out at me was when Jim Coover said our cost of goods is double what everyone else's are. And that goes back to show like, if it's not right for the customer, it's not right for the company. And there's so many companies out there, and we don't want to say anything negative about anyone else, but it's like we have pulled, if we can't source it with the highest integrity, with the cleanest and pure products, we will pull it off the market. And we had to with COVID. There was one time I couldn't get my greens, and I was like, rah! and now it's back, and you can just trust, though, it's because it's for the good of you, because they are not going to compromise. It is a no compromise promise from them to our door, because I put this in my kid's body, I put it in my body. Yeah.
One of the calls I was on, Dr. Plant, that's his actual name, was saying that like something was off by like a 0.7% or something, and they did not ship it. They didn't go forward with it because that's how much they want everything to be precisely where it's intended to be. And so, that's huge. Like, have you ever bought something from the store and thought, this doesn't taste like normal? What's in it? What happened? Like, have you ever bought a pop or like a soda and you start drinking, and you're like, this is different? Nobody checks the integrity of that crap that you're buying at stores. And even with like restaurants, they have to switch where they buy their chicken and where they buy their dairy from, where they buy their salad from. Like, they're constantly dealing with E. coli breakouts at places like Chipotle and stuff like that. And so like, it's just one of those things where I feel so comforted knowing that everything that I get from this company is legit. So I think we kind of covered all of the stuff that we were planning on. Was there anything missing? I know we're getting like we can talk all day.
No, I know. Just like you guys, we're so excited. I had so many messages from people like, what are you doing? Where are you? It's sunny there. And I was like, okay, you have to be at our next event. I was sitting there and I was kicking myself because I've had like a weird, like I tried some other things that are a little bit cheaper, right? Because I'm like, well, do I need premium products here? And I'll be honest with you guys, I tried a cheaper collagen and my hair loss started like being back to where it was before our collagen. And it was like, that is not something that I'm willing to compromise on. So your nutrition, like your shakes that you have every single day, what you put in your kids' bodies, like 80% your foundational things, we have something for you that you can link arms with us and we can go to the top. And it's something that you can really get behind and not have to worry about any compromising that goes along with it. So I guess just like wrapping up, what we're most excited about is like, I was kicking myself wishing, dang it, like Brittany should have been there. Emily should have been there. She should have been there. And I was like, we can't have this happen for the next event. So I am most excited for our next event in Orlando. I think maybe we'll do a beach day. I know we'll probably go super early and go to like the SeaWorld. There's so many things to do with the kids, but like we want you guys to be there with us. Even if you're just like, you just want to hop on and try some things, we got to get you there because this community is unlike anything else. The families are unlike anything else. The women are so positive. They're not like going to talk to you and then say something else behind your back. And there's so many women like that in the world. It just breaks my heart. These women all inspire and empower one another. When I'm having a bad day, Sadie's like, I got you. We've got this. You can do it. And that's what we need to have more and more people. We just have to have more people there. I want more of my friends there. I want more of my customers there and my family there. So I guess that's like what I'm most excited about. How about you, Sadie?
Oh, same thing. Sorry, the weed whacking right outside my house if it's loud. Yeah, same thing. Like I have a goal to bring more people to Orlando. It's Brad's birthday weekend, so we're gonna go out there and celebrate. And it's gonna be so much fun. We love Orlando. We've been there a couple times, and it's like I've never I've never been in a community where I don't worry that people don't like me and are talking about me. And like, I mean, everywhere I've ever worked, whether it's a hospital, whether it's at, a small clinic, or whether it's been in nursing school, or whether it was in the army, like there's always just these catty people, men and women, and just this community of people where it's very much like a judgy culture. And it's not like that here. And if you start to sense it, it gets squashed. And so, because people have to start from somewhere. And so, you just love on them and you just share with them all the positivity, and it's just beautiful. So, I'm glad that you brought that up. But yeah, we're definitely going to bring a whole boatload of people to Orlando, and it's going to be amazing. And so, we've got to get our bodies beach ready for
Yeah,
August. Yeah, so
bikinis.
I have a goal. So some of you guys know this, but I've lost 90 pounds since I had my son, and he's 3. And I've made the commitment and started speaking it out loud today that I'm going to go for that final 10, and I'm going to go for that 100-pound loss. And so not all of it was from isogenics. I always make sure that's clear, but I feel that my body would look really well defined and very much where I wanted to be if I was at that 100-pound mark. And I'm going to go for it. I don't know if it's going to take me look at my husband going crazy. I don't know if it's going to take me the whole year or if it's going to take a really focused couple of months, but like I can do it. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. Like I promise, like this is the right vehicle. These are the right people. This is the right time. And so, yeah, I'm definitely excited. So me and Gabby will be back every Monday. Time will change a little bit. So if you catch the replay, type a replay in the comments and what you got the most out of this conversation. And we're all here to support you and cheer you on through this whole journey. So
Yay! Thank you so much,
yay,
Sadie. I love doing this
absolutely.
with you. You guys, God bless.
Me
Have a
too.
great rest of your week.